DocuSign, and what I like to say is make DocuSign act like Dotloop, but you guys have all transitioned over, correct, to DocuSign, or are in the process of?
In the process of, some of us are still using Dotloop, to my
Yep.
knowledge.
Understand. When is your when's your last day to have Dotloop active in the market center?
Oh, it was last Friday. It was the
All
15th.
right.
Yeah.
Way to go. So there's panic has ensued, correct?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Let me go through it. I'm going to go through it relatively quickly because, in my mind, the two systems are so similar that they can ask, they can act alike. And I try to do things as fast as possible because I don't like to get bogged down by the technology. I wanted to leverage it for my time. So feel free to ask me any questions. Let me go into command real quick. I always access it from command 99% of the time. So if I'm in command and I'm working on a buyer contract and all of a sudden the person I showed a home to today says they want to buy a home, and let's just say I don't even have them in my CRM yet, or I have their basic information, I'm going to create an opportunity. And thank God you guys are in New Jersey because a lot of the forms will be the same because I'm in Livingston, so not that far. And I'm going to pick my client, who I always seem to use for my classes, my wife. She's been bought thousands of homes for me. She's probably my best client forever. Erica Gendel, JC test buyer. And again, if I want to tag it or not, fine. When do I think we want to close on this home? We'll put it out for March 19th, and I'm going to earn 2.5%. The phase doesn't really matter because I'm writing a contract. So I'm just going to put them as active, and I'm going to put them, again, this is a buyer opportunity. So I have to change this to buyer up top. Okay. If there's a co-buyer, put the co-buyer in. And then we're in the active stage and we are showing homes. We're not in attorney review yet. Okay. Now, if I had an admin on my team or someone else on my team who needs to see access, I would assign other people right here in the bottom of who else needs to see access to this opportunity. Okay. Sound good? So far, so good? Yes, you guys are with me? Cool. Awesome. So I'm going to press create. It brings me into some more details. I'm going to click on the property that she's buying and type in an address, which happens to be, do not send anything to my house. I know where you live. You know where I live now. It's going to pop up my address, pop it right in. And this is the property she's buying. Okay, so far so good. And now I'm going to click on documents and go right into the documents that I need for this contract. Now, the nice part about it is, if you ever take a look over here, if you clicked under contract, it would actually show you the documents that are required by your market center or conditionally required and color coded. Okay. So if you want to sort by requirement, that's fine. Again, this is a buyer transaction. So I'm just going to click start transaction and go into DocuSign and we're going to start the process. Again, my goal is to type a contract in 10 minutes or less, right? That's my thought process. Because if it's in 10 minutes or less, we're good. I shouldn't be spending all day writing a contract. You guys agree? Awesome. All right, so it brings you into the room. It adds you to add documents to your room. Now, adding documents is as simple as pressing add in the upper corner. And you're going to pick DocuSign forms, unless you already have your forms predetermined in your Dropbox folder or another folder. So I always pick DocuSign forms. Those are the state forms and the board forms. And the first thing that happens up here, it says DocuSign Forms Library or Group. In my market center, we had our leadership team make various what we call form groups. Listing forms are one group, buyer forms are another group, rental forms are another group. So they're grouped together of all the forms that are required that I have to use. Okay. So I don't have to go far to find the forms I need. I'm going to press Forms Group, and I'm going to press Contract of Sale or Buyer Forms. Okay. And these are all the forms I could use for a buyer deal. So I need our affiliated business disclosure. I need the New Jersey contract of sale, and I need the CIS form. I don't need anything else. I just checked off the ones I needed. So far, so good? Yes? Questions, comments, stories, jokes, anecdotes? No? Awesome. Okay. Press add. I've selected the forms I need. They're going to show up here on screen. And then I'm going to fill them out as if I was going to be sending them to a buyer. Okay. Is this difficult so far or similar to Dotloop? Similar, right? So just click on the the form you want to fill out. This is our disclosure form for our affiliated businesses that we own. So this is Exhibit A. The property she's buying is 26 Melrose Drive, Livingston, New Jersey, 07039. Great. Wonderful. Save and close. Next is the contract of sale, right? The actual property she's buying. Okay, I represent the buyer, not the seller, right? You guys are familiar with this contract, correct? Yes, state one. We all use the same one. Stephen Gendel is filling this out. Erica Gendel's the buyer. The seller is Joe Smith. The property we're buying is 26 Melrose Drive. I put the block and lot, block 12, lot 15. We're buying it for $750,000. My initial deposit is $75,000. I'm putting no additional deposit. We're going to get a what is it? A mortgage of $500,000, and the rest is cash at closing. My math is bad, but you guys know what I'm doing, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm just filling out the standard contract, right? Who's getting it? Then we're putting the money in the buyer's attorney. When's the additional deposit due? Escrow will be held by buyer's attorney. The amount of the mortgage is $500,000. And we're doing a conventional loan. When's that due? And the closing date's filled out already. Any items included in the sale. Again, this is all standard contract stuff, right? We're just filling in blanks, right? So far, so good. Awesome. Save and close. Now, if you had, and the keyword here is had, a lead paint form or seller's disclosure, you would upload them right here by pressing add and going to your computer or Dropbox or wherever those are stored and uploading them to this screen. Okay. Does that make sense? If I want to delete something, let's say I have the wrong form or form I don't need. If you hover over, there's this little dot that appears in the upper left-hand corner. If you click the dot, you get a menu of choices. One of those is delete. Make sense? And to figure out which one it is, just hover over it. Archive, unarchive, download, etc. Okay, sound good?
If you delete a form, can you get it back?
No.
It's gone for good.
It's gone for good. If you archive it, you can get it back. If you delete it, Chris, it's gone. Okay. All right. So now we're ready to go forward. Okay. So I want to send all these documents to my client for signature. Okay. We're ready to go. So I'm going to press this select all button in the upper right hand corner. You see how the blue check marks appear and our menu bar appears? Mm-hmm. Right? So that only happens when you select a document. All right, so I'm going to create an envelope. And think of it this way. When you mail a piece of mail in the U.S. Postal Service, you take the documents that you've signed and push them in an envelope and send them to be mailed. All right? You don't mail it first and then create the documents. So this process works the same way. I'm creating the documents that I need signed, and now I'm creating an envelope to send to the post office. Okay? So far, so good? Yes? Awesome. So I'm going to click Create Envelope. Now, here's the thing that's going to save you the most amount of time, and you guys are going to love this part, okay? We can name the envelope whatever we want. We have our documents that we're going to add, the 3 documents. And this is where I get to add my recipients who get it. So you see here when you click the download, the drop-down menu, and it says room participants by email or pre-tagged roles. Pick pre-tagged roles every single time, and you will save yourself a ton of time. Okay? So I'm going to click pre-tagged roles, and it says buyer 1. Well, that's Erica. And buyer 2, no, there's no seller 2, seller 3, 4. There's a buyer's agent. That's me. Right? So I'm going to pick me, Stephen. I'm going to add these two people, the only two people who are going to be signing this envelope. And now it automatically sets up the document to be signed. Now, here's the cool part. I want to sign it after my buyer signs it, right? I don't want to sign it before they sign it. So you see where it says this little number on the left-hand side, 1 and a number 1. If you change the number here to number 2, you'll get it back to you after buyer number 1 has signed it. Okay. So if I had, for example, a husband and a wife, I would have both of them being number 1s over here, and I would be number 2. Does that make sense? We're good with that? Yes, no? Yes? Awesome. Okay, now we've got our recipients. We have our message that we're going to send to them. And now we're just going to press next in the upper corner. This is where you're going to do all the tagging if it hasn't tagged. But here's the cool thing. Remember when we chose pre-tagged roles? It tagged the whole document for me. So I don't have to do anything. There's the signature for the buyer set up and ready to go. I can go to the state of New Jersey form and take a look, and it'll have everything set up of who's signing by color coding. So Erica's signing where it's yellow, Steven's signing where it's blue. And if I want to see that I'm here am I in the envelope. If there were 3 people, there'd be a color purple. But it's pre-tagged every place Erica has to sign automatically. All I have to do now is press send, and they're going to get it. And we're done. Now, again, if you don't have, sorry, back up a second. Once you add the seller's disclosure and the lead paint form, that's where you're going to have to manually tag. But your standard New Jersey forms are pre-tagged for you. So you're really going to have to add tags to those forms. Questions, comments? So, and adding a tag, by the way, is as simple as clicking the word signature and dragging it to where you want them to sign it. Okay. If you don't want to put it there, press delete. It'll go away or move it. Guys, we're done. Like that was a 10-minute class. What questions do you have? We just wrote a contract in 10 minutes.
So if you realize that you wrote something wrong on the original contract, you have to go back to the document, delete the envelope. I just want to make sure there's no way we can edit anything.
Once you're in the envelope stage, you've got to go back to the original document and void it and start all over again. Yes, that's correct. What else? That's it? No other questions? You guys are good? You're ready to go? This is what the seller sees, by the way, or your buyer, just so you can see the preview. There's a desktop preview. There's a mobile preview. So this is what the consumer sees. And again, what they see on a tablet or mobile, if you want to see that. What other questions?
There's a problem I've been having. It keeps saying, and this is a repeating thing, it says one more step to authorize your thing. You need to connect to command. You have to authorize it, but that pops up like every week for me.
When you say authorize, what do you mean by authorize?
I don't know. Whenever I log in to Docloop, it pops up. Can you turn? No, thank you. Literally a little pop-up comes up and it says one last step to certify Dotloop with command, authorize it. I don't know if you've ever
So you mean DocuSign with command?
Yeah, sorry, DocuSign. Yeah, sorry.
I've never seen that, so you'd have to send me you have to send Giancarlo the error message and we could look into it.
Okay.
Okay.
I have a question, Steve. It's Karen Sims.
Hey, Karen.
How do we get the tenants to be able to fill out the application easy?
How do you get to tell them to fill out what?
When we send them the application and we want them to fill in all their information,
Right.
do we have to click and drag text to each and every box?
Yes. Yeah, because it's a predefined field, pre-filled out field. Well, let me back up a second. Because it's a predefined field, like your seller's disclosure, those fields will be blank and they have to fill them out. Like if I'm doing a seller's disclosure and you're my seller, right? And this is a listing opportunity, not a buyer opportunity. It will have the seller's disclosure there, and those fields that the seller has to fill out will be highlighted in the color that they sign in, yellow, purple, etc. So you don't have to click and drag if it's a predefined field.
So is our lease is predefined already? Because I know I've done only one through DocuSign.
If you're using a board form or a state form, yes.
All right, I'll try that again. I'm gonna send myself a test and see
Yeah,
if it works.
but so like that was the biggest question. People are like, what do I do with the seller's disclosure, right? On a listing, it's all pre-filled out because that's a pre-filled out form from the state. So if it's a state
I've seen
form,
that on the SD, but I haven't seen it on the actual tenant document.
on a tenant document, if it's a state form, it will be, those fields will be fillable by the tenant. You won't have to click and drag. It'll be pre-filled out. Okay.
Okay, I'll do a test. Thank you.
The only one, Karens, that are not are either like, again, a PDF that was sent to you or a non-state form.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a way to make a template for a form that might need to be filled out in the future? Can you build a template?
Yeah, you can build templates in your home screen. Yes, completely.
Okay.
I can create templates, here in the room and go back and leverage them anytime I want. I'm allowed to do that. That's full built into the system. Now you can't take a state form and make it a template. You can take a non-state form and make it a template.
Like a PDF.
You can't modify the state forms. Like those things are locked. And that comes from your board in the state.
Right.
Okay. But if you had a certain form that you used every time you took a listing that said, please describe your home, for example, you could upload that form here and make it a template.
And add in fillable.
Literally put it in the My Doc section. Okay. But again, I'm the shortest distance to 2 points as a straight line kind of person. So to me, the faster I get in and get through this, the better always. Now, you can go through the details page and fill out as much details about the transaction if you want. That'll pre-fill out some of the fields in the contract and pre-fill out some of the fields in the listing. You can do that as well. You're welcome to. I just want to get into that because if I'm going to fill it out once, I'm just going to fill it out when I actually type up the actual paperwork.
So what you're saying is that we could partially fill out like a state form, say it's a contract we're doing.
Yeah.
Whatever, put in all of the listing agents' names, information, all that stuff that's going to be pretty much all there all the time, and put that into a My Doc, and then use that to pull when we want to put it into each room. Or...
No, I'm talking about like for this particular, transaction. If this was a listing or on the buy side, I knew the listing agent, I can fill out the details tab. It'll pre-fill out the other forms, the forms that are necessary for me with all the right contact info.
But there's no way to say, hey, I started the room from command, open up a new room, and already have, we do 10 listing appointments a month. We got to constantly put in the listing information for the listing agent into the form every single time? Or can we have it auto-populate with a paper that already has the listing agent's name and all that little bit filled out?
That will, if you fill out the opportunity, it'll populate over automatically. If you fill out an opportunity and you create the opportunity, it will take everything from the opportunity. It automatically pre-fills out the details page and then automatically pre-fills out the form.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. So it's going to pull right from the opportunity. Like it knew 26 Melrose Drive that she was buying. It knew her name. It knew the seller's name, and it knew my contact info. You fill out the opportunity, it pulls everything over.
Understood.
Okay. That's why we want you to use opportunities. It's just going to make your life easier because it's coming over faster. What else, guys? That's it. I mean, you booked me for an hour, so it's up to you. Everyone gets freaked out going to DocuSign, and I'm like, it looks, acts, and smells like Dotloop to me. So, tell me what's scaring you or freaking you out or making your life more challenging. Did that seem challenging anyway? I'll ask you guys that question. Did that seem challenging?
No.
No.
I think mostly people, it's command altogether that might be a little scary. DocuSign seems easy to
Okay.
me.
Marie, what's scary?
It's new.
It's actually 3 years old at this point, but that's okay.
Okay, well, I've been using,
Yeah, no.
I wasn't
I will tell
around
you,
3 years ago.
and from experience, Marie, actually, we're so used to going into Dotloop, typing a contract and moving on, right? And the challenge that people have is when you're backing the command side of the world, is we're not actually used to having a sales pipeline and tracking our business. And this is where you get to track how successful you are and how much money you're earning. I think this is the part that scares people more, because when I talk to agents and I coach them, the first thing I say is, so tell me about your sales pipeline. I write a contract when I have one. So like I look at their cultivate stage so I can see where they are to see what their future business looks like. If they haven't filled this out, how can I coach someone? This is the part that gets people more upset because they've never used a sales pipeline. And I grew up in the sales world in software sales. And when I worked in the software industry, you had to have a sales pipeline. You had to. Otherwise, you didn't. What's the purpose of selling real estate if you can't track your business, right?
Right.
Right. And this is the part that confuses people more than anything, because when I coach people, if I don't see anything going on in this area, then they don't get the right to be. I say to them, if I come to our next coaching call and this stuff isn't set up, then we're not having any more coaching calls, right? Because this is your money. This is your real money, right? This is telling you everything. 17 days in the cultivate stage, on average 83 days once you have an appointment, and then you get a listing, it's only active for 43 days. That should tell me that I got to get these people who've had appointments with in the active stage, right? Like you'll know all your business. If an agent comes to me and says you're struggling, I'm going to say, well, you got 111,000 under contract and you got 271,000 potentially out there. What are you doing to get this 271 down here? Right? That makes sense, correct? Yeah. So for me, the biggest challenge is in command. We've not used a sales pipeline because we've never tracked our business. It's, oh, I got my real estate license and I want to sell a few homes. Right? In my mind, it's all got to interconnect right here. This is the coaching opportunity. Because I know, for example, what I showed you is Eric is in my database and she magically woke up yesterday and decided to buy a home when we all know that doesn't work that way, right? You've had conversations with her, et cetera, to get to the point of looking at homes to buy a home. So I get that. What else, guys? What other questions do you have? Feel free, shoot, fire away.
Hi, this is Vendela. I do have a question, and I'm okay with the command and with the DocuSign, Dotloop, like how to integrate together, but I do a lot of referrals. And in Dotloop, I create basically one kind of loop, and I had like all my referrals, and then I just move it to the command. Like, is there any like a nice filing documents you would recommend in DocuSign? Do you know what I mean? When you can find like referrals from like before or stuff like that. Like for instance, like right now, if I'm another filing situation, right? If I'm doing COVID-19 and I have all those forms, I would create like a loop with like name of the property and then put all the signs, like all the signed documents in it, right? And then like keep it in like basically one loop. So do we have the same option in DocuSign to do it? Like I have a nice
No, it's built into command.
Okay, so can you show us?
Sure. So if I'm in, that opportunity I just created, we'll go back to the opportunity we just created. Here's the test one. You see here where it says documents?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Awesome. You see here where it says folders? You can create custom folders here and you can store whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to call this COVID forms, right?
Okay.
Create folder. And I literally can put in here anything I want by clicking add item. What do I want to upload? Manual form, a DocuSign form, a custom form, whatever. And I can drag and drop or add it right here.
Okay.
Limited document storage right here.
So you would recommend basically putting everything in the command instead of keeping it either in DocuSign or Dotloop?
I wouldn't keep anything in Dotloop because Zillow can read it all.
Yeah, no, I got it. Okay, so no,
Yeah.
that's I've done it before, so this is maybe easier way to just.
I mean, remember, this is your compliance engine. DocuSign's a signing engine.
Mhm,
Okay? So for my compliance, for having access to all my past forms, we're
mhm,
going to go by if your broker came to you and said, I need XYZ form,
mhm,
all you have to say is, oh, it's in my opportunity in the extra folder I create called additional forms. You can
mhm.
store everything here.
Okay. Yeah, maybe it's the easiest way. Yeah, as I said, we didn't
Right.
have plans, so we started all on Dotloop. So obviously, I started organizing everything in
Right.
Dotloop. So now,
But yeah, you can store listing documents here. Everything can be stored right here.
okay,
You
that's a
can
good idea.
create as
Thank
many
you.
custom folders for you if you want for each transaction, if you'd like. You could have a folder called, dead deals, the deals that didn't get to closing, but right, they're all built into one.
Yeah. Okay.
So you could literally have everyone who sent you an offer, you could store right in here for that potential listing, and then only put the ones into DocuSign, which is the one your client's going to accept. But you got all the past ones right here.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Yeah.
you can store everything here. That's where I would go because DocuSign's the signing engine. It's not meant for the document storage part.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Because for compliance purposes,
uh-huh.
all the real estate commission is going to see is, do you have the document? Is it signed? They don't care where it's stored.
Mhm.
They just want to know, is that paper or piece of paper signed, right?
Yeah.
That's why Dotloop was never meant for that. Neither was DocuSign. That's why we created this area where you can add custom folders and store whatever the heck you want.
Yeah. No, I got it. Yeah, I use the command, the creating the extra custom folder when I know that I have to be in compliances, but there are obviously tons of papers which we have and they're just
Sure.
hanging around and you don't really need to
Yep.
put them in command. But if you're telling us that we have unlimited storage there and we can be using it, that's probably easiest
Yeah,
way.
you've got full access to store whatever you want. In New York City, the big thing is like co-op forms for some of these co-op boards. I'm like, store them right here. They're like, never thought about that, because most people don't know that feature is here, but
Mhm.
you can do all that right here.
Yeah, no, I've done it before because we obviously have to keep all the contracts and all the offers and everything. So I've been pretty good. But as I said, I have like a couple of referrals that I don't know if it's gonna go through or not yet, right? So
Right. Correct. You can even add them, like if you want to add to the under contract, just click add item. You don't have to create a separate folder, or you can. It's your choice.
yeah, no, it's actually better. I think that's better to go this way. So
I
definitely.
agree with you, but not everyone agrees with us. So
Yeah.
that's okay. And that's okay. I understand. Like, to each their own. It's whatever you're used to.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem. What else, guys?
So Steve, I have a question.
Yeah.
Once these documents get signed by the buyer or seller, where do they go? Because I remember there was another step in order to see them here. Is
Yeah,
that,
once they're signed, you've got to come back to the actual opportunity and click. You see where it says add a file?
uh-huh.
You got to click add a file and
Okay.
take it from DocuSign and actually click the sign. There'll be one here that says, contract of sale. Then it'll actually say the word signed. Pick the one that says, or two or three, and press a sign, and it'll sign them automatically.
Oh, got it.
Okay.
Sign them automatically for me?
No, it'll sign them to where they need to
Sign
the placeholder.
Got
Right.
it.
Like, I've got to bring over the CIS, this, and the property. Just right. These are the ones I got to bring over. It'll assign the ones to the appropriate fields. And you'll see a copy of them right over here on the right-hand side. Okay.
Thanks.
So yeah, that's the last step, is after they're signed by the seller, after they're signed and you want to submit them to the market center,
Mhm.
you're going to come in here, press add a file, click DocuSign, pick the one that says signed next to it, press the button and press the sign.
Okay.
It'll come over before you submit to the market center. Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you.
No problem. Great question. Thank you. What else, guys? Does it seem as difficult as you thought?
No, I actually on Friday was our last day with Dotloop, and of course I come home late from a showing, and at 9 o'clock at night I'm trying to put an offer together, and I'm scratching my head, going crazy. I ended up having to pay a month of Dotloop because I'm like, who am I calling at this hour?
Well, can I give you a little tip?
Sure.
Okay, so bookmark this website I'm about to pull up on screen for you.
Okay.
Everyone should save this website. Answers.kw.com.
Oh,
Okay. This is your like go-to when it's 10 o'clock at night and you need support. Right. And you're going to put like in the search button, you know, get started with DocuSign.
yeah.
Right? Add documents to a DocuSign room. And literally, I'll show you how easy it is. Right? There's a video, but there's step-by-step color-coded everything that you need to do that I just went over with you on screen. So you want to know how I learned how to teach this? I read this screen.
Oh, got it.
So they didn't train me, by the way, as the regional tech trainer on how to do this. They said, DocuSign's now available. Go figure it out. And then I had to train it. And I came here, I read this, and I went to my market center. So my market center was a guinea pig. And in the middle of June, I said, we're getting rid of Dotloop effective July 1st. And I had like a revolt on my hand. So I said, okay, rather than have a revolt, we're going to keep it open for the rest of the year, but we're not going to train on Dotloop anymore. So everything's going to be done in DocuSign. And eventually, after 6 months, we had like 3 stragglers left.
Yeah, well, I guess
But
that
it's
was,
all right here. So if you guys have trouble on any part of command, and I mean any part of command, come to answers.kw.com and you're going to get your answer. I can type in smart plans. This is where when I get a tech question, and someone calls me to, Stephen, I'm having trouble with command. I go here, I read them the answer, then I email them the page. I'm not that smart. I'm just smart enough to know where to find the answer. Okay. Seriously. Renee, you can laugh, but I'm seriously not that smart. Like, this is where I go. So even the market center tech trainers go, oh my God, you know all the answers. I'm like, no, I just go here. And I send them over the page. So like it's all here. Go to answers.kw.com. You'll find all your answers. Bookmark it. It's like a great resource. Right? I mean, it's everything like, opportunities, create an opportunity. How do I create an opportunity? Like I've never done, I got to write a contract. Oh my God, what do I do? We have a video. And then we have step-by-step. It's highlighted in red every step of the way, what you have to do.
Also, guys, this is Karen. On each and every class that I teach, whether you YouTube it or jump on a class, I go through this whole process.
Yep.
So if you have time, 10 o'clock at night, and you need answers, pick up any YouTube one that I've done, and you'll see that I've done the process for y'all so that you can refer to it.
Yep. I mean, we have so much content here. How to create my listing presentation in designs. Like the number one question, it couldn't get any easier than this, right? Step-by-step instructions. Crazy, right?
crazy.
So don't get frustrated. Don't pay Dotloop another penny. You could just come here, but too late now. But that's like my insider tip. Like every class I teach, I'm like, go here. Because we actually have a training class every Friday on new features in command. They don't train us on them. They just tell us what new features are coming out. Then we have to figure it out.
Mm.
And then I have to somehow tell you guys like I know what I'm doing, which I don't know. I think I've been faking it so far. Renee, what do you think? So far, so
You're doing
good.
a great job. Tell us some of the newest features that you think we should implement right away. Stephen, I just also want to say the neighborhood snaps in our area are still not fully, the active prices are right, but not the solds.
Sold. Yeah, no, the sold data is wrong across the board. We're having that issue with because it all depends on the MLS and the data they're feeding us.
I think the issue, I think we realize, we're pretty sure the reason why the sold prices are incorrect is because they're adding in the rental. We do so many rentals.
Yep.
And I think that data, of course is being fed, but it will take, an area that's like 900,000 average price point. The solds all show at 250.
Right.
So we're not using the neighborhood snaps to our advantage yet because of that.
You're talking about the monthly neighborhood nurture?
What?
You're talking about monthly neighborhood nurture, correct?
Yeah.
Yep. Gotcha. Not the snaps that were in Kelly, but the monthly neighborhood nurture.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, the neighborhood nurture.
Gotcha. Yep.
And we keep periodically checking that, but they don't seem to be changing. And that's something Chris, who was sitting here, he's pretty sure that's why the numbers are so skewed. They're
Yep.
getting all the data, but they're meshing in the rentals with sales.
I got you. I
So
got you.
you'll see the year of rental is, 24,000
Yep.
next to a sale price of 700,000.
Oh yeah, no, it messes everything up. Yeah.
Yes. So I don't know, is that something you think we need to talk to our MLS about, or?
Well, the question for your MLS is, do you send sold data to your, as part of your IDX feed? That's the only question. Do you send
Okay.
sold data?
Okay, so I'll find that out.
Once you find that out, I can then figure out the other stuff on my end. So that'll change everything. I mean, the biggest things to know right now is, like, I would tell you, smart plans can auto fire, meaning if you tag someone with a certain tag, the smart plan will fire off automatically. So if I get leads from like a Facebook campaign right now, we tag them, smart plan goes automatically. Those things are just things to save you time and energy. I think the other big thing that I really focus on is we should be using opportunities more. I think every agent should come in every morning, and the first thing they should do is go to their pipeline, and their sales pipeline should tell them what to do each day. Not their contacts, not their past clients. Here, if they have a relationship with a past client, and the past client says, hey, you know what, I'm moving in 6 months, then you should create an opportunity for 6 months out. Does that make sense? So you get on the phone with the past client says, hey, Joe, thanks so much for calling, Steve, thanks so much for calling. Yeah, we are going to move in 6 months. That would automatically make me create an opportunity, and I would start putting them in the cultivate stage for 6 to 12 months out. I think we miss a huge amount of business because we're not leveraging opportunities to move people through a sales process so we don't lose any business. And I think that's one of the things that I would tell you to spend most of your time on. The moment your client says to you, it's time for me to buy or sell, opportunity should be created automatically. And if you didn't know this, by the way, and I'll show you this little tip. When I'm in an opportunity, these different stages, the 6 to 12, 3 to 6 month bucket, 1 to 3 month bucket, you can edit these to change them to be any words you like. So I change these by clicking edit stages, and I change the names because I wanted them to be that so I can track my business as it goes forward before a listing goes live on the market. Okay. So my advice to you is start using this every time you make a phone call, every time you talk to a past client, every time you talk to someone who wants to buy, sell, or invest, you make a contact, then you create an opportunity. And then you should be focusing on your opportunities and where you're going with your money. Does that make sense? Yes? Because to me, that is where we're failing, is that we're not able to coach ourselves to where our buyers and sellers are in the business. What else, guys? What other questions do you have? Anything?
Oh, I have one more question. Do we have still access to the Dotloop in terms of seeing our prior documents and stuff like that? Do we know that, or?
That's up for your market center.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Okay, so I can normally logged in and basically transfer whatever, like some of the documents I really want to transfer, create templates and put it here for filing. So I can
Yes,
just normally log in.
Anything previously done in Dotloop, you can still see and access, but you can't create anything new unless you've done that, per agent, per month, or whatever you choose to do. But you're not losing anything, but you can't use it going forward.
Do we have it time limited, this access to it, or are we gonna have it for 5 years? Because we have like a 5 years of incompliances, right? So I want to make sure, because some of
That's a question for our MCA.
Okay. Okay, so I will ask. But as of
I
today,
don't think it disappears for, it's never going to disappear is my understanding.
Mhm.
And you can do an archived backup for yourself, but I do think the market center holds one too.
Okay.
So that's
Okay.
API Nation.
Yeah, API Nation will sync it. If there's a thing called API Nation, if you want, it'll sync your Dotloop account, basically all of your files to wherever you want, whether it's Dropbox or Google Drive. I think it's like $10 a month or something like that. But if you're just doing it one time, that's all it's going to cost you, basically. But you can look into that if you want. You can text me. I
Yeah,
can.
if you actually go into the marketplace right up here, you can find API Nation up here.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
sure. What else, guys? Are you guys using, when you have a buyer who does a home inspection report, are you using the home inspection and analysis tool?
No,
No? How come?
because we need you to show us how.
So guys, when you have a buyer doing a home inspection and you're ready to come and say to them, look, here's the challenge. Like most buyers today just are like fleas on cocaine. They want everything and they want it yesterday. And the challenge of that is they all get nervous because they're so used to doing this home inspection and find what does it cost to fix this? What does it cost to fix that? When you go into command, you can see here where it says repair estimate report. You can come in here, press get started. You can upload your home inspection right here. And in 48 hours, it comes back and tells you, and this is a demo, but it tells you what it costs to fix everything on that home inspection. Like everything on the home inspection. And yes, it's accurate comparing Jersey City prices are different than Livingston, that's different than Morris County, that's different than Oklahoma. And it'll track everything. It'll say, siding must be this, was on page 11 and it cost $500 to fix.
I'm sorry, did you say we just need to upload the inspection report, basically the PDF we get back from the inspector, and they'll do the rest?
You literally come here and press get started and upload it right here.
Good to know. Thank you.
In 48 hours, it comes back to you with a report. Now, here's the cool thing. And I don't know about you guys, but like in my area of Jersey, we get these buyers who have these crazy numbers. And I'm always like, well, justify it. And now what I do is I just share the report with my buyer and their attorney. And I say to the attorney, okay, now we're going to get real estimates for these 3 things. Here's an approximate for everything else. And now everyone calms down and we don't get these crazy home inspection requests. Now, when I meet a buyer, this is what I say to a buyer, like at an open house or something. And I use this for recruiting too, by the way. Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, when you hire me and my team, we're going to leverage the Keller Williams Command Artificial Intelligence Engine to do a home inspection analysis report on any home you buy with us. So you're going to know the cost of everything within 48 hours of your home inspection being completed. Is that okay with you? And they go, you can do that. And anyone under the age of 40, and I'm not trying to offend anyone, you say the word artificial intelligence and they think you're really smart. And I'm 50, so I'm making myself smarter every time I say artificial intelligence to them. Renee's laughing, but she knows what I mean, right? So at the end of the day, like that stuff is pretty powerful to get you buyers. Here's a way I use to recruit. When I'm on a buyer transaction and the other realtor's nervous about the home inspection or something, I say, we have this artificial intelligence solution that lets us analyze the home inspection report. Wait, you guys don't have that? Maybe I should have my team leader call you. You'll get more buyer closings that way. And all of a sudden the buyer's agent's like, wait, what? You guys have what? Oh yeah, we just upload the home inspection report to our technology and it tells us what it costs to fix everything. I can't believe you guys don't have that at Coldwell Banker. That's how I used that to recruit my last Coldwell Banker agent. So.
Can you actually take a quick step back and show us where we're entering that home inspection report at?
Sure. So I come into the opportunity. This is a buyer opportunity. You want to go back to the before that?
No, I think that's good right there. Yep.
Yep. So I'm going to go into this buyer opportunity. My wife bought a home without me. I click the actual opportunity and it says repair estimate report. And then I press get started. Now, if you don't see this here on your command, it means you haven't connected this service called Porch. What I want you to do is go to the marketplace up here, click on the marketplace button and type in Porch and add Porch to your command for free. It's a free add-on.
Got it. That's what I was missing, the Porch part. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a free add-on. Like if you don't use it, you're crazy, right? Because I'm giving you something for free that's going to make you money and make all your buyers happy, right? So go into the marketplace, search for Porch in the top and add it into your system. Sound good? But a lot of people don't have this because they don't know they got to go add porch up there. What else, guys? Great question, Kevin. Thanks.
Have you explored any of the luxury tools?
No, because I haven't had time to get into them yet because they just like launched them into design. So I haven't had time to play around with them yet.
Okay.
I'm lazy, Renee. You know, I just don't like have time. Yeah. What else, guys? What other questions do you guys have?
Are there any other key designs or key data that we can be using on listing appointments right now?
I'll tell you this, like for me, one of the things that saves you time, you guys are getting multiple offers on your client, on your transactions, yes?
Some, not as many as the suburbs.
Right.
It's starting to ramp up again.
So when you're in command and you've got a listing and you're getting like multiple offers, one of the things I recommend here, I'll go back to a different screen actually, is when you're getting multiple offers on your listings, come into your listing opportunity, click the offers button, and start entering the offers here just by pressing the add new offer button. What that allows you to do is when you get all your offers in is press select all. And you see now where it says compare offers over here on the right. You can send an email to your client with an analysis of all the offers side by side. So it's so much easier now because I now have everything documented of all the offers. I emailed it to them, they saw them all, and now they're making a decision of which one they're going to go forward with, right? Make sense? That to me is like a no-brainer. There's another reason why you should do it, okay? Here's the reason why. As more and more people, and then you click the one you actually accepted, right? As more and more people start entering their offers into this command, we'll be able to analyze and go back to the agents who are representing a buyer and say, homes in this price range in your town with this offer have an acceptance rate of 98%. Right? So that's why I'm pushing using this feature, because it'll tell the algorithm when you go on a buyer deal or even a listing deal, right? A listing appointment. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, homes with this price in this town have 101% chance of getting sold with this number. Like imagine being able to say that on an appointment. If we don't start using this data point for our algorithm to do the work, we can't give you back the data. So to me, like every time we get an offer, we're putting them in here so we can track everything. Make sense? So like to be able to go to a buyer and say, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, I know you love that townhome for 900, but if you offer, you know, 850, you got 0% chance of getting it. Like 0%, because our algorithm told us that. Until we start adding more offers in the seller side, we can't tell the buyer that. That makes our algorithm stronger. So that's why we spend a lot of time talking about this, because this gives you a better chance. What else? So it does a lot. Like people think command doesn't. Command does a lot. And I go back from like, you know, 2 years ago when it barely did anything. So start putting your offers in here on the listing side and do an analysis so you can show your client, A, what you have, and B, how powerful it is.
What is your favorite smart plan?
My favorite smart plan right now, well, I kind of have two of them. Like one I created.
Most effective.
It depends. Well, it depends what your goal is. Like, what's your goal?
Follow up,
Nurture, I guess.
Right. So the two most effective ones I'm using right now is one I'm running for a Facebook campaign. So I get a new buyer leads that are coming in on a Facebook campaign, and this is a 12-step campaign that goes out. You know, so this is my most like popular one when I get a lead from a Facebook campaign. And the other one I'm seeing that's also getting good nurture is when they came to the open house. Like we do I don't know how you guys are doing sign-ins for open houses, but we do a web page that they fill out before they walk into the open house. So I have them scan a QR code. It opens up a web page on their cell phone. They fill out the form on their phone and it dumps into command. So I create a landing page. When they leave, we tag them with this open house, 5 Jardine open house tag, and this smart plan fires off. It's a 15-day smart plan with 7 touches. So sends them a text as they drive away, sends them an email. Then it waits a couple days and then it reminds my buyer's agent to call them. Then it waits 3 days and it sends them a text, etc.
Is that
So-
pre-made or did you create that yourself?
Say that again.
Is that like in the library or did you
So
create it yourself?
this is a Facebook campaign that's in the library. This one I created myself.
Gotcha.
The first one is in the library. It's called New Buyer Facebook Campaign from Nick Baldwin. The other one I created myself. But the first thing is, remember, like every time we do an open house, we're creating a landing page. And that landing page is our open house sign-in sheet. So like I don't use paper at open houses. It's kind of funny because of COVID, we're getting more accurate phone numbers because everyone's being honest because of the contact tracing we have to do. So I just, say to them, we literally, I put this on my phone, this URL on my phone, and I copy into it. And I said to them, can I have your cell phone number? I'm going to text you our sign-in sheet. And they're standing outside and then they fill this out and it dumps into command.
Who do you use to generate your QR codes?
I Google how to create a QR code.
I didn't know if you had a specific
No,
one.
whichever one pops up, and I copy and paste this URL. We put that on the door. They scan the QR code. The other reason why I like the open house sign-in sheet being here is it's a property flyer and it stays on their phone and they have the flyer with them the whole time.
Right.
So they have all the details of the house on their phone as they're walking around, and it prompts them with a map to also download my app.
That's pretty amazing.
And
it saves the trees.
It's Freddie, it's kind of fun. Like you say, look, I want to be COVID safe. So rather than have you sign something, I'm going to text you a link to this website. And then, by the way, it's also our property flyer. After you fill it out, to save it open on your phone. Like I want you to do that, and you're going to. But then you leave. You're in my command, and we're sending you an open house. Thank you. Smart plan.
Can you repeat those steps again? Is that under design?
No, this is all under consumer, and it's create a landing page. So this is here, and it's create a landing page, a one-page property website.
It's actually pretty interesting because I've been to a lot of open houses, and as I'm filling in the information, on that paper, I usually change one last number so I don't get these crazy calls. And when it's on the phone, it's in there. It's more like you want to put in the right information because it's on your phone versus some paper document.
Well, and it's funny too, Freddie, because if they scan the QR code, it just pops up on your screen, right? If they don't scan the QR code and I text them the link, you had to give me your cell phone number for me to send it over, right? And here's the other thing: a lot of forms on websites, a lot of cell phones are pre-filled to put the numbers in automatically, so they can't change it. It just goes boom, 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 boom. They press send. Right? Because again, they're like fleas on cocaine. So I'm just making it faster for them. Right.
Right.
Also saves the listing agent money for printing. And also the consumer is used to the QR codes now if they've gone to a restaurant.
Correct.
In the last 9 months.
That's right.
It's funny that you bring up this topic because I'm doing an open house this weekend and I was just telling Karen, with COVID, I don't want to deal with all this paper, but I was going to do it manually, do PDFs to my phone. And
no, you don't even have to.
Yeah, so I want to master this because this is great.
Yeah, you create a one-page landing page for your listing. You have the sign-in sheet at the top. And literally.
Are there instructions anywhere? Like, I mean, I know you're going through this real quick.
Answers.kw.com.
I'm sorry?
Answers.kw.com.
Can you put that in the chat?
Sure.
I got a lot of stuff going on in the background.
No problem.
Is there any way to add a tag field for that, if that entry from the landing page? So when it enters command, it's already tagged to the open house?
Only thing is where they put leave a note. I always tell them put 5 Jardine.
Got you. The
that
address,
that
right?
comes over in the lead form, but then that's not a tag. So what happens is I get a notification on Kelly that they're I get a notification on Kelly that they're looking at that they popped in. Then I open my mobile browser, I tag them with 5 Jardine Open House, and then just fires a smart plan.
Right.
Yeah, it does take a little bit of front end work. Like, the first
Yeah.
time we had to create the open house follow-up smart plan, and we had to create the tag. Now we just copy the master, put the tag in, knowing that those people are going to come to that open house, and then we just create the landing page. I create the landing page on Saturday before the open house is on Sunday, and that's how we do it. Yeah. Yep. What else, guys?
Very cool.
It's like I'm all about, for those of you who don't know me, I'm all about automation and keeping it simple and leveraging my time, because one thing I know is none of us can get our time back. We all can get back money. Money's going to come and go in our life. We can't always get back our time. Right? I've made money. I've lost money. I can never get back those hours I wasted doing stupid stuff. Right? So leverage your time with the technology so you get your time back. Because I've now automated my process. This is what we do every time we do an open house, right? We know we're going to have a single page sign-in sheet. We know we're going to have a QR code. We know we're going to have a follow-up campaign already set up. We know they're already going to be tagged, right, as that open house. We just have to get them to sign in, and then we tag them and it goes. So anything else, guys, I can help you with? It's 2:02. I got to run to another meeting in like 30 seconds. So one more question. Anyone? No?
This is pretty good.
Thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it. Enjoyed
Thank you.
the time.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
You
See you
too.
later. Bye.
Thank you.